Bitcoin dips into the 20,000s. Many people wondering, is Bitcoin going to bounce? Or do the bears have the upper hand, and is Bitcoin getting ready for even more downside? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way in. I appreciate you. This is going to be a quick video update for you on Bitcoin because we just dipped into the 20,000s. I mean, coming from $40,000 area, we're in the 20,000s now. Many people are probably freaking out. I just want to do a quick update for you where I think we are in terms of Bitcoin and this move to the downside. And let's jump into the video. Here we go. Here's the Bitcoin breakout out of that symmetrical triangle. Remember, the target is in the $24,000, $25,000 area. So I'm just keenly aware of that area. And I'm going to talk about some other confluence on these charts. Before I jump into that and start looking at that, I want to discuss Bitcoin right now. We talked about earlier potential for a busted symmetrical triangle. Now, when we're talking about a busted symmetrical triangle, we are basically talking about a fake breakout, right? So Bitcoin, you can see, broke through the bottom trend line, and what we're looking for is kind of like a revisit and a breakthrough, right? It's a fake out. And the rules, according to the patternsite.com, Bolkowski on his data, is basically price breaks out of a triangle, A to B. That move is less than 10% before price moves back into the chart pattern. So less than 10% before price moves back in. Right now, Bitcoin from the breakout area is 15%. Now, in today's earlier video, I said I take Bolkowski's data and I adjust it slightly to compensate for the volatility in Bitcoin. And I've always kind of done that in terms of Bitcoin. And I think right now, if we add that 5% to the 10% rule, I think right now is where we need to get a pullback at this very moment. If Bitcoin continues dipping to the downside, I think the busted symmetrical triangle is no longer in play. But I still think it's in play. In today's earlier video, I mentioned this area right around $30,000 is a good area to see if Bitcoin can see support and a bounce from that area. And you can just see right now as I do this video, Bitcoin really just testing that area right now. This is a 6-hour chart, and Bitcoin interacting with that $30,000 area. It's looking bearish on this 6-hour chart. There's no telling what can happen in the next couple hours or so. So we're going to just track this literally tonight, going into tonight, and see what happens. Keep in mind the swing low, that crazy swing low we had just the beginning of January. It wasn't even long ago, a few weeks ago, down here in the $27,000 vicinity. So just keep an eye on that area as well. What I want to talk about because I think it's very important. There's a lot of people that are in Bitcoin now. You might be out there right now, and you weren't here, in that last bull market. And I want to talk about Bitcoin on the weekly chart because many of us, if you've been here in the last few months, have enjoyed some pretty awesome gains for Bitcoin. And it's great. We always want it to continue. We always want to stay in overbought territory, but it's really important to always acknowledge like the consolidation areas for Bitcoin. And there's no better time to finally talk about it. And I talk about it a lot, but right now is a great time because Bitcoin is in the middle of doing it. And, what I want to do is I want to just tell a quick story, which is bull market, bear market cycles, right? We have this bull market high in 2013 into the bear market into the next bull market. And here are the bull market doors, that green Fibonacci retracement. This is a macro Fibonacci. That was the last Bitcoin cycle. This Bitcoin cycle, Bitcoin doing the same thing. Bull market high, bear market low, up into the bull market doors, entering the bull market. This just transpired. So if we look at Bitcoin right now, how it is on the weekly chart, from entering the bull market doors, Bitcoin has barely consolidated. Now, if we go back and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm using my small laptop. I'm on vacation right now. But if we go back and I zoom in here, when Bitcoin entered the last bull market, and we were anticipating something like this time around, it just didn't happen. Bitcoin really tested those bull market doors once, broke above, came back and tested it again. Then we finally got kind of a parabolic move, kind of similar to what's happening now. And then we came back down and tested the 1618, this Fibonacci retracement, right? Now, if we go and we look what Bitcoin has recently done, Bitcoin just flew through the bull market doors, barely any consolidation on the way up. And then right now testing the 1618 of that macro Fibonacci retracement. So that is the first major consolidation that Bitcoin has really gone into since October. And I think the fact that we just hit 40,000, especially if you've been in this long, you survived this last bear market, it's good to step back, take a deep breath, and kind of be grateful for the powerful move that Bitcoin has kind of given us recently, right? And I think we should also be grateful, I mean I am, for the consolidation that Bitcoin is currently seeing. Because when we start looking at Bitcoin cycles, it's so important. And so when we start digging into this current move, what we can do is we can zoom in and to get some historical data and historical context on something we could anticipate. And it doesn't have to be some crazy, scary situation, right? And Bitcoin just multiple times, when we talk about this, I think in today's earlier video and multiple other videos, the 20-week moving average is just an area of consolidation in the last bull market for Bitcoin. And currently, if we look at Bitcoin charts, we can see where Bitcoin is right now. We're pretty overextended from that 20-week moving average. That's down here right around 19,500. I'm not saying Bitcoin's on its way to $19,500 right now, but if we have some weeks of consolidation, this 20-week moving average gets pulled up and we're consolidating into that area, could potentially be in the low 20,000s, 23, 24,000. We know on a micro level, we have a $24,000 target for Bitcoin. It doesn't have to happen overnight that we get there. We could come back up, test this apex, trickle down into February, and finally hit a $24,000 target. We have to be patient for all of these moves to come to fruition. But what I will say is when we're looking at the weekly chart, all down here, the 20-week moving average, we got to watch this area for Bitcoin, because in that last Bitcoin cycle, Bitcoin just interacted with that and consolidated to that area a lot. There's no reason not to think seriously that that could happen once again, especially as Bitcoin right now, if you look at the momentum oscillator, this RSI, finally coming back down and really coming back out of overbought. Really, right now, just look at this chart. It's out of overbought territory for the first time since October, and that's important. Now, this move that you see on the RSI happened countless times over here in the last bull market, and I just want to just remind you all of that, and just let's keep revisiting that. Let's keep revisiting historical context on these macro charts. It's important. Zoom out, everybody. If you spend all of your time here, all you're going to see zoomed in on a 6-hour chart or even an hourly chart, all you're going to see is Bitcoin in the red. And when you look at this chart, yeah, it looks bearish, right? But when you look at this chart and you zoom out on the weekly, it looks bullish. It looks so bullish. And I'm all about those macro charts. I'm all about the long term, everybody. At the end of the day, this is a very risky business, crypto, Bitcoin. So don't take financial advice from YouTubers. You know, I present the data. I really want to share it with you. This is just my sentiment. I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin, but there's always room for downside. And this is what it looks like, in my opinion. That lower $20,000 range is just completely in play for Bitcoin. $24,000 target. Let's see what the 20-week moving average does. Wanted to do a quick update for you. In the short term, maybe we get a sick bounce for Bitcoin. Maybe we get this busted symmetrical triangle and Bitcoin can just make a run for it. But you know, that's kind of a stretch, right? The bulls, they can make it happen, but you know, I like to anticipate all scenarios and make my own decisions based from there. So everybody, appreciate you. Time for me to sign off here. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I appreciate you cruising by. Have a good night. God bless.